Hello and welcome to the Capitol Report on NTD Television. I'm Steve Lance. America has reached its $31.4 trillion debt limit. Now the Treasury is taking so-called extraordinary measures to avoid defaulting on our debt for the first time in history. The White House urging Congress to raise the limit yet again, while Republicans plan to use the opportunity to negotiate a stricter budget. NTD's Melina Wisecup reports.
The Treasury has hit its borrowing cap. It's now taking steps like suspending new investments to prevent a financial meltdown. Congress must raise the cap, but a political battle is sure to play out before they agree on a solution.
Congress passed spending bills. Congress passed tax bills. As a matter of mathematics, that means the U.S. government has to borrow.
Congress has raised the debt limit 78 times since 1960. The last time was just 1 year ago when lawmakers raised the debt by $2.5 trillion.
This has happened under Republican presence. It's happened under Democratic presence. It needs to happen again.
Potential consequences of a long standoff range from market turmoil, which could crash Americans' retirement accounts, to the government being forced to prioritize federal payments, deciding which will come first among Social Security, federal salaries, and other payments.
Not paying our bills hurts the American people because we're going to have to pay higher taxes to pay the higher interest rate.
Melina, can you give us an idea of the timeline we're looking at for Congress to act, and what do Republicans want to see happen here?
So these so-called extraordinary measures that the Treasury now says it's using will allow for a couple of months of wiggle room before the U.S. actually defaults on its debt. And during this time, Congress will be trying to reach an agreement on raising the debt limit, although the White House says they believe this issue should be non-negotiable, and they expect Congress to simply raise the debt limit with no questions asked. Of course, we see the same sentiment echoed by some Democrats on Capitol Hill, who their argument is that Republicans have actually helped to accrue some of this debt through signing off on some spending measures over the past couple of years. And they say that now those Republicans need to be responsible for signing off on those spending measures. But House Republicans now, with their slim majority, are trying to use this as an opportunity to negotiate for stricter budget measures. So some ideas that are being floated are things like returning back to spending levels of fiscal year 2022. Others are like what Congressman Ralph Norman has proposed, which is a dollar for dollar cut, meaning that for every dollar we raise the debt by, they should find cuts elsewhere. But Speaker McCarthy has said that House Republicans will be looking at all areas of spending. That includes defense and non-defense to see where they can cut so-called wasteful spending. And if House Republicans do hold a hard line on this, it will essentially force Senate Democrats to work with them on it, although leadership in the Senate has said they don't want to negotiate this issue at all. So this will be a political battle that we can expect to see play out over the next couple of months.
Amid the fallout of the documents debacle, a new poll finds Biden's approval rating dropped to 40%, close to the lowest point of his presidency, which was 36% in May and June. And that's as Biden, on his way out of the White House Thursday morning, once again ignored reporters' questions about the classified documents found at his home and office.
President, can you tell us a little bit more about your decision? Mr. President, are you satisfied with the way your team is handling the documents?
The new approval numbers comes from a Reuters Ipsos poll that concluded this Sunday, a day after the White House confirmed that a third batch of documents was found. But a White House spokeswoman who was accompanying Biden on his trip to California Thursday to survey storm damage defended Biden's record.
Look, I would just say that there's other polling out there that shows that the president, his support continues to grow. Inflation is down, gas prices are down $1.70 from their peaks. And so these are the kinds of numbers that I think also matter to the president.
It's true that not all polls find Biden's approval rating dropping, but it is notable that the Reuters numbers draw a sharp contrast from earlier this month, when Biden's approval rating climbed to 44%, the highest point in over a year. As to the documents, the White House continues to defer all questions.
And I have to refer you to my colleagues in White House counsel's office. I'm just not going to have anything new for you today on this.
While Republicans are criticizing the administration for not telling the public about the discovery quickly, a White House spokesperson tells CNN that the scandal won't affect Biden's decision or the timing of his expected 2024 announcement. Sources told Reuters that Biden is expected to launch his second run for the White House, perhaps as soon as next month, after the State of the Union address slated for February 7th. Reporting from the White House, Iris Tao, NTD News.
Many have been wondering if Florida Governor Ron DeSantis would beat former President Donald Trump if DeSantis decided to run for president. Well, a new poll shows what a matchup between Trump and DeSantis would look like. A Morning Consult poll released on Wednesday shows 48% of potential Republican primary voters support Trump to be the next president, while 31% would rather have DeSantis. Meanwhile, a Yahoo News YouGov poll, also released on Wednesday, included independents and Republicans. They were asked to choose between DeSantis and Trump if the Republican primary were held today. DeSantis beat Trump by 3 points, 45 to 42%. Even among Trump 2020 voters, DeSantis received 45% over Trump's 43%. Trump is now in his third campaign for president, and he's putting his policies at the forefront, including restrictive policies against China.
China does not allow American companies to take over their critical infrastructure, and America should not allow China to take over our critical infrastructure.
In a video he posted to Truth Social, he laid out the details of his proposal.
To protect our country, we need to enact aggressive new restrictions on Chinese ownership of any vital infrastructure in the United States, including energy, technology, telecommunications, farmland, natural resources, medical supplies, and other strategic national assets. We should stop all future Chinese purchases in these essential industries.
Trump is set to speak in Miami on Thursday night at a private event hosted by Judicial Watch. And the first stop of his presidential campaign is scheduled for South Carolina on January 28th. Fox News reported that Trump will be joined by the state's governor, Henry McMaster, and Senator Lindsey Graham. Jason Perry, NTD News.
With the 50th anniversary of Roe v. Wade coming up, the Supreme Court today says it still does not know who leaked the overturning draft opinion last year. In a statement, the court said the investigation team has not been able to identify a person responsible by a preponderance of the evidence. A computer hack is also not likely. Investigators say they conducted over 120 interviews with 97 employees, and all of them denying disclosing the opinion. On Friday, the annual March for Life will be back to Washington, D.C., as it has been for the last 50 years. Thank you for watching the Capitol Report. If you want to see our full broadcast, check us out at epochtv.com.